What's up, Digital Business Evolution? Welcome back to the show. Today we have a really great episode all around why you should stop showing your face on Instagram stories. This actually would go for Reels, Stories, TikToks, any short form video, and it might surprise you. Here's the thing, I'm totally kidding. The only reason that you should stop showing your face on short form video would be if you didn't want to gain know, like, and trust, if you didn't want to create credibility, authority, clout, consistency, community, lots of C's, can't think of any other C's, but here's the deal. It's currently halfway through 2023, and it is no surprise to any of us that video is king, video is queen, and it has been for a really long time. Let me break down for you why video is so powerful. And if you're over here watching the YouTube video of this podcast episode, you're going to understand this firsthand. When we are on video, when we have our face on camera, we make an instant connection to somebody. We can see into their eyes, maybe even into their souls. We can see ourselves in them. We can feel their energy. You can sometimes hear energy. Like if someone's smiling, I'm smiling right now, you might be able to hear that in audio. You might also be able to hear if I have a very serious tone and a very serious frown. We can oftentimes hear emotions in audio, but we can definitely see emotions with our eyes if we're able to. And so when you're on video, short form video, you have the ability to connect with your audience on a completely different level that you just wouldn't get if you weren't showing up on video. So let's get this real clear here. If you're a business owner, if you're selling a physical product, a digital product, if you're a coach, a content creator, if you're a service provider, a trainer, a doctor, a lawyer, anyone in the digital landscape selling anything, you really want to make sure that you are actually leaning in to showing your face. Now, if you sell a physical product like this mug that I have here, it's still really important for you to show your face as either the founder or someone who uses this product. This is where something like affiliate marketing comes into play. An affiliate marketing area or arena is this idea that a third party, let's say it's you, the affiliate, are sort of giving a stamp of approval or a third party agreement saying, I know, like, and trust this product to your audience. The sheer value comes from you, the person, saying that you know, like, and trust this product. So even if you're in a physical product business and you're listening to this episode right now, what I'm sharing matters for you so much. And it doesn't have to be your face, but maybe it's product users' faces. So maybe it's not you as a service provider or as the founder, but it's other people using your physical product. Now, when we show up and we show our face, like I said, we're building instant connection. I smile, you smile. I giggle, you giggle, but all the way down to things that are really simple, even like your hair color, the length of your hair, the clothing that you're wearing, the glasses that you may or may not be wearing, if you have a mustache or a beard or a goatee. The human brain is always looking for connections that it can make inside of itself. So what past images or memories or experiences have we had that are filed away in our brain? And how can we make a connection to something now in the future or the present that we're seeing? This is what your brain is constantly doing. We're looking for familiarity. We're looking for things that we remember or remind us of other things or people or places or experiences. So simply by showing up, you're literally getting into a deeper level of connection with someone before you even do or say anything. Now, another thing that happens is body language, right? So like I said, when you're smiling, if you're leaning in, if the angle of the camera is tilted slightly down so that you're actually elevated versus if it's tilted up and you're slightly underneath the camera, now you're creating an experience or a feel of either authority or sort of a leaned back approach. Both are really great. If you want to create that sense of authority, you're really speaking into the truth, you're dropping a mic moment, you're giving value, you're teaching, you're educating, you might want to be presented as a little bit above, a little bit taller, a little bit higher than your audience. I'm not talking about talking down on them and having a double chin, right? But there are things that you can do with your camera angle. Again, if you're on YouTube, you can see me using my hand. And if the camera is raised slightly up and you appear to be a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter, a little bit set back, then it appears for the listener or the viewer to feel as though they're a little bit taller, they're the authority. And a lot of times people will position the camera like that for sales, where you feel a little bit more approachable, or maybe they're talking about something vulnerable. So we've got body language, you've got crossed arms, open arms, using your hands. I mean, I can go on and on and on, but this is going to create a different feel or experience for people. When you show up with your face on camera, not only are you creating that quick know, like, and trust, where people can feel your personality and see who you are much clearer, much faster, much more efficiently than if you were just typing or writing on a screen. It's just a different energy. But you're also going to help build your own brand and brand awareness. You're going to help create community. You're going to help connect yourself to others. You're going to help people see themselves in you, in your story, in what you've been through, in the product or the position or the offer that you have for them. It also makes people on the other end of the camera feel more seen, heard, and understood because they feel like they're having a conversation with you. I swear this is why for me, I don't know what it is, and maybe you're like me, I'd love to hear if you are. I am a huge reader, you know that. If you listen or follow along to anything that I share, I believe readers are leaders. I am a reading junkie. I love books. Oh my gosh, love them. And for whatever reason, I really struggle listening to an audiobook. However, I can binge 2 to 3 podcast episodes a day and have no issue. Audiobooks for me go in one ear and out the other because I feel like someone's talking at me rather than to me. But when I'm listening to a podcast and it's very conversational, even if I'm not actually in the conversation, now I suddenly feel that like I'm answering questions, I am inserting my opinion, even if it's all just going down in my head, it feels very conversational and it keeps me sort of awake. It keeps me interested. It keeps me intrigued. This is the same thing that happens when you storytell, when you show up and show your face, when you're being vulnerable, when you're being silly, when you're teaching a mini training, whatever capacity or angle you're taking in your content, when you show up on video, your audience members automatically feel more seen, more heard, and more understood. They're creating a deeper connection from you, and people buy from people. Again, even if we're selling a physical product, we're buying from the emotion of the story for what the product can do for us or what the product has done for other people. I'm sure we've all heard the story of Sarah Blakely, who started Spanx, right? She sold it recently, a couple years ago, but she started Spanx and she tells her story all the time, living in the 1-bedroom apartment, and she had no money, and she used to cut the legs off of her pantyhose because she just wanted the control top. And how many other women just wanted the control top, right? But you didn't need the whole stocking or the whole pantyhose or whatever it was called at the time. And so she just started cutting off the feet, and then she turned it into a product. And there's this whole emotional story around being able to put those on under a power suit or a skirt or a dress. And the way it made her feel was more put together, was more controlled, not in a controlling sense, but her body, right? It felt more compressed. And now we have this whole line of compression clothing that we've had for so many years. Why? Because emotionally it makes us feel a certain way. So thanks to a quick Google search that I did, I found various articles that told me that people buy 95% of the time based on the emotion that they feel for the product, the thing, the person, or the transformation they're about to have. 95% of the time, and this was multiple articles told me this. And what that tells me is that 95% of the time, that's almost 100% of the time, we buy from either pain or pleasure. And if you were to Google that, the majority of the time is we actually buy from pain. So most of the time we want to move away from pain. It's sort of like when we're in a relationship that isn't working anymore. The majority of the time we leave the relationship because it's not working anymore. It's stressful, we always fight, it's toxic, we're not on the same page, we don't want the same things, it's just not working. We're moving away from the pain, so we leave the relationship. It's not that often that you leave because of the pleasure of something else. Now, it might be in your head that there might be something better for you out there. Very well could be true. That very well could be one of the determining factors of why you eventually leave the relationship. But most often, we move away from pain. In fact, Google also told me that 80% of the time, humans are moving away from pain. It's only like 20% max of the time are we moving towards pleasure. Well, you might say, yeah, but Jess, when I book a vacation, it's because I really want to go to Greece. I have this vision with the big dress of standing on the white rooftop with the blue water. And while that might be true, the action that you take to finally book the trip oftentimes is still coming from the pain of because I don't want to be here, because I want a vacation, because I'm burnt out, because I'm tired, because I haven't taken a vacation in X amount of years, because I haven't had alone time with my significant other. I want to take a girls' trip, so on and so forth. And those things are pain. So if Google told me that 95% of the time we buy on emotion, then what that's telling me is it's really important for you to show your mug, because that's how we create emotion and that's how we connect to people. If you were to show up and sell something in a very sullen mood, a very gray, a very sad, a very unconvincing, I'm trying to think of the word for it, but like not confident, Eeyore, mopey, gray. I guess it can kind of help you. I think I can, maybe. The person is probably not going to be super quick to pull out their credit card, because if you're not confident in what you're selling, in my experience, they're not going to be confident in buying it. But if you were to show up, this is the best thing since sliced bread. I am so excited. I'm using my hands. My body emotion is open. I've got a smile on my face. I've got testimonials to back it up. This is the thing that you need that's going to change your life. I can promise you, because X, Y, Z, someone is probably going to be more inclined. And it's not just what you're saying, it's how you're saying it. So if 95% of the time we're buying based on emotion, well, then wouldn't you think it's really important for you to show up with emotion, for you to show up and tell story, for you to show up and create not just authority, not just credibility, clout, but actually create relationships with people? And the fastest way to do that is being with someone in person. If we can't be with everybody in person, especially in digital marketing, then the video is the closest way that we can get to people in person, which is exactly why when we're on video, I tell people all the time, as do many other coaches, when you pick up your phone and you're doing those Instagram stories or that reel, don't come on and say things like, hey guys, what's up everybody? How y'all doing? Because now what you're doing is you're making it not feel personalized. And the reality is, majority of the time, it's one person on the other side of the screen. And so when you say things like, hey guys, what's up everybody? Now the person on the other side of the screen doesn't feel as individualized, as personalized, as deep into a relationship with you as they could. That's just a little sidebar for you. So with this idea that people buy on emotions, I also want to tell you, because it's a fabulous book, there's a book that I read years ago called Why She Buys. I actually don't have the author in front of me right now. I could pull it up pretty quickly, but the book is called Why She Buys. We'll link it in the show notes. It's a great book, and it's not just about women or why women buy, but it is framed around the context of how women actually, quote unquote, own a lot of different industries, in the sense that they're usually oftentimes the last sort of stamp of approval before a purchase is made. So when you think of clothing historically, I'm not saying this is what the book talks about. Statistically, when it comes to clothing, fashion, kids stuff, toys, home decor, food, and many, many other things, women often historically have had that like last stamp of approval. And so it's really interesting when you read this book, it starts to teach you about the psychology of sales, the psychology of why he buys, why she buys. It's a fabulous book, check it out. But really this book is talking about the fact that we buy based on emotion and how storytelling is so powerful. So just a real quick little sidebar here. We've all seen the commercials around the holidays. I feel like it's always Lexus, where they create this picture, they paint this story. It's Christmas morning, it always is snowing. There's, the little stockings hanging, the beautiful Christmas tree, everything's perfect, and everyone's snuggled in matching pajamas on the couch. And the wife goes to open her gift, and it's a tiny little box, and you get thinking for a second that, oh my gosh, is this a Tiffany's box? Is this going to be a jewelry commercial for Zales? And she opens the box, and it's a Lexus car key or like a BMW key fob. And she runs over to the window or opens the front door, and there it is, the shiny, bright new, brand new car with the big red bow on it. What they're doing in the commercial is they're creating emotion. They're creating a story around what it feels like so that you can picture yourself in the story. What would it feel like for you to wake up on a holiday morning like that, to receive a gift like that, to open your front door and have something magically appear? And we can go through dozens and dozens and dozens of examples of this, because all marketing is storytelling. And so when you create the story depicts or pulls out or frames an emotion. And that emotion is triggered because we buy from emotions. It's giving your audience or your client something that they want but they don't have, or something that they don't want that they currently have. That's the key here. It's the pain and the pleasure. It's something that I desire and want that I don't have, so I'm going to buy, or something that I have that I really don't want anymore and I want something different, so I'm going to buy. So when we're talking about showing your face on specifically Instagram stories or reels or TikToks or YouTube shorts or all these other places we can do videos now, it is so important. It is so crucial that you do show your face. Now, I'm all for clicking through story slides that don't have your face. There are days you don't want to show up. I get it. There are days where you're not in the mood. Maybe you're traveling. You don't have the time. You're in a public place that just doesn't really feel appropriate. So it's a great idea for you to do other things, and you can share pictures that you have, and you can do overlays, and you can write text, and you can create story and share testimonials, and you can share old content, you can repurpose. There's so many things that you can do. But again, people buy from people. They're going to trust you more. They're going to feel into it more. They're going to be more inclined also to reach out to you. How many times have we all said, DM me, and nobody DMs you? You're telling them about an offer, a product, a service, and you tell them, shoot me a message, comment below, and they don't. The reason that people don't is multifaceted. Number one, most of the time, they just don't know what to say. So that's why I teach my clients, if you are going to say something like that, tell them, DM me the word mug, and we'll have a conversation. DM me the coffee emoji and let's have a conversation. By simply telling them what to comment or what to DM you, you've now removed the barrier to entry of what might feel like really uncomfortable for someone. It's a barrier to entry where for you, you're not thinking it's a big deal, but remember, this person might be silently following in the background. They might look up to you so much. They might be so nervous. They have maybe been struggling with this particular thing for so long. Their ego might be in the way. They might be embarrassed. They might not want other people to know about it. And so by you simply removing that barrier to entry and just telling them something to say, you're making it that much easier for them to reach out to you. But again, imagine you actually do show up and show your face and show your flaws and your pimples, and sometimes you don't have a filter or you mess up what you say. I'm like the queen of this. And you don't repost it perfectly, but you let it go blah, 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 as you mess up, right? And they feel into that. You're human, you're approachable. Gosh, when you're approachable, it's so much easier for someone to approach you. Go figure. So just by showing your face and talking to camera and showing your humanness, and we're not even talking about being authentic and vulnerable and sharing all the skeletons in your closet. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about your day-to-day. It's just a different level of relationship that you can build. And relationships ultimately is what you want to build if you're looking to build a sustainable and a scalable business that's going to last a long time. Relationships are huge, especially when you look at your business model. And the most important thing is understanding where your revenue is coming in from. And the easiest sale to make is to someone who's already purchased from you. It's to layer on that lifetime customer value. It's called LTV. The more lifetime customer value, the more extended you can get that, the better off you're going to be in your business. And how does that happen? Well, getting a customer that comes in and has an incredible experience, who sees the value, who wants to continue being in your world and buying products from you. And when that happens, it just snowballs. People also ultimately, they buy from people, right? There's so many people doing exactly what you do. And so why do they go to you over someone else? And this is the famous coffee analogy that I use all the time. We used to live in New York City. There's a coffee shop on literally every street corner. And every training that I do, I talk about this because people think that the coaching industry is too saturated. This is one of the ways that I will absolutely debunk that myth, along with many other ways. But how is it possible that there is a coffee shop on every street corner in a city? Because we like coffee, we're addicted, right? So then the question becomes, why do you go to different coffee shops? And I'll give you a second to answer here. Just answer in your head. Why would you go to one coffee shop over another? Well, I've done this 100 times, so I'm going to tell you what I usually hear from people is the quality of the coffee, the give back mission that they have, the price of the coffee. Do they have Wi-Fi? Do they have good seating? The service that they give, the people there know my name, they know my order. Maybe they have some other great things that they offer that's not coffee, like cake pops or sandwiches or protein bars that you really like. Maybe they have public restrooms that you want to use. Maybe they're just geographically along where you're walking and you don't want to be bothered having to go out of your way or cross the street or take a subway or whatever that might be. The same goes for you. So whether you're a health coach, a personal trainer, a therapist, a doctor, a lawyer, a nutritionist, a gut hormone, a somatic breathwork coach, it doesn't matter what you do or what you teach. You could be a radiology tech expert. You could be a student trainer that helps people pass courses. You could be a real estate agent. I'm listing off things that all of our clients have done before. You will have competition. And so why does someone buy from you over somebody that does the same thing that you do, a competitor of you? They buy from you because people buy from people. And so when you even show up and share little things like how your house is decorated, or the foods that you eat, or the drinks that you drink, or the places that you hang out, or the fact that you love mountain biking or hiking or wakeboarding, or you do knitting, or you make bracelets, or whatever all those tiny little things are that you just do because that's just who you are, that is ultimately why people will buy from you. And I know it sounds crazy. We did RV life for 14 months. Now it's coming up on 2 years ago. And for 14 months, we traveled around the country and we did 27 states in a giant Class A, a big diesel pusher RV. And we literally had people join our signature program in that time span because we were digital nomads. They joined us over our competitors because we lived in quote unquote van life, which was something they aspired to do, or it was something they were currently doing. And they wanted to work with a coach who got it. It being the challenge of Wi-Fi, right? And so people buy from people. I can't stress this enough. So with that, I'm going to sort of just put a bow on the whole thing. We'll keep this short and sweet. You absolutely should be showing up and showing your face in short form video. It's honestly the same reason too that people even like pictures on Instagram. I mean, Instagram started as a picture app. It was actually started as an editing app. If you didn't know that, now you know. And over the years, we've been able to now put up carousels and Canva posts and quote tiles, but originally it was just pictures. The connection that is made even through a picture is much deeper than the connection that is made simply through word. That's also why, if you think about it, inside books, a lot of times what is it called? The cover? I don't know what it's called. The insert of a book, jacket. The insert jacket of a book on the first or the last page will often have a picture of the author. Even if the cover doesn't have the author, usually the inside or the back cover will have the picture of the author. It's an instant connection that you can make with someone. It just makes you feel a little bit different. So if you're struggling right now with like, okay, I get the importance, you've hammered it in for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it's been, what am I supposed to say on stories? Well, I got your back. So in an effort to make your life really simple and easy, the team and I have put a download in the show notes. So head over to our show notes and you'll get a download with just quick, simple, easy ideas for how you can show up on stories. What should you say? What should you do in moments that it's not a picture of your coffee mug, but we're asking you to show your face? What the heck are you supposed to talk about? So go grab the download. It's in the show notes. It's quick and easy. It's literally just a single download PDF. It'll give you a bunch of different options. What I would love you to do is when you test one of those things out, tag me. You can hide it, you can put it in the corner, you can make it really small, but tag me at I am Jessica DeRose. I want to see what you're doing. I want to see how you're effectively using these story ideas to share your face, to tell your story and your clients' stories to ultimately build a bigger brand, more awareness, more connection, more community. You get the idea. I want to see it. So I hope you loved this episode, short and sweet. If you did, take a screenshot of the episode, share it on social media, give me one of your takeaways, give me an aha moment, tell your audience how this helped you so that it can ultimately help more people. Of course, tag me at I am Jessica DeRose, and don't forget, go to the link in the show notes, grab that download, and I'll see you on the other side. As always, cheers to your evolution. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you loved this episode, I invite you to be a part of our ripple effect and share it with a friend. And please, if you feel called, take 30 seconds to leave a 5-star review, and I'll be forever grateful. Until next time, cheers to your evolution.